Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode. I'm David, and today we are doing the life path 145 and the life path 415. Since these two are pretty similar, but a little bit different, I will just do them in one video, and I will state the places where they differ a bit. Yeah, but they're pretty much the same ish. All right, so let's start off with a quote. Those on these life paths are here to work through issues related to independence, stability, and creative energy, finally achieving freedom by surrendering to the discipline of a step-by-step process toward chosen goals. Because the mountain path to fulfillment of our life purpose entails tests and challenges, most of these types find a sense of authentic inner and outer freedom only after finding out what freedom isn't. They have tendencies to become dependent on others, then strive for almost aggressive independence. Balancing this tendency with healthy forms of self-reliance, interdependence, and cooperation, these individuals experience freedom only through discipline and focus, taking life one step at a time. It may take a while for them to come to this realization. I think that's actually a really nice summed up statement of the 145 and the 415. It has so many things already in here. Let's because the 5 is freedom and discipline. The 1 is creativity and confidence, and the 4 is stability and process. Yeah, for you guys who haven't yet, I recommend you also watch the Life Path 5, Life Path 1, and Life Path 4 videos in whatever order you want. It doesn't really matter, as long as you know which type you are, because if you are a 415, then 5 is your strongest number, then your 1, then your 4. And if you're a 145, 5 is your strongest number, then 4, then 1. So that's something that you should take into consideration. So you are a 5, which means that you crave a lot of freedom. Freedom is really important to you. And I really understand that, even though I'm not a 5. For me, it's always been freedom and growth. Those are the two most important things in my life, and that's except for let's say health or love or whatever. But things that I want to accomplish or work on in my life. So for you, it's freedom, and discipline is kind of your downside. So for you, it's hard to have the discipline to kind of limit yourself in how to use your freedom. Because let's give an example. You and I think money is really tangible. So we'll start with a money example. But let's say you get you work, and the end of the month you get, let's say $1,000. It's probably not what you're getting. It's a low number, probably. Kind of depends on where you live, but it's an easy number to calculate with. And let's say you have to pay rent. Your rent is $500, and you still have some other things. But because you are working, your number 5, you want freedom. So you get this money, and you're like, oh yes, I'm gonna buy a new bike. I'm gonna buy a PlayStation. I'm gonna buy this, and I'm gonna buy that. And so you're taking all the freedom, and you're doing whatever you want. You're truly living your type, because that's what you want to do. You're living a part of your type. But then your landlord knocks on your door like, hey, yo, where's the money at? And you're like, oh crap, I kind of forgot about that. I was working my number too hard. But what you can do instead is you can work your number correctly by setting up, let's say, $100 you put aside, and this is your splurge money, your play money, your freedom money, whatever you want to call it. And this money you can do with whatever you want. So you wanna buy some ice cream, you wanna go to a sauna, you wanna go skiing, or whatever fits in with the budget, you can do it. And that's the way you can really work your 5 in the correct way, so that you are in fact you're actually creating this safe space, which is your budget. And within that safe space you can move as freely as you want, but you can't go outside of it because it's only $100. Well, you can get creative with your one number, and maybe with that $100 you make $500, and now you have $500 to spend with. So that's something you can do, and you have that creativity and creative power to do that as well. But that's up to you, because that could also mean that you could, for example, lose the money and not spend it on anything you want. Your 4 will not like that, by the way, because your 4 number is for stability, and the downside is process. In this case, it could actually be beneficial to start with a process of what you're going to do with this money. It won't feel as free, but that's where the discipline that you're lacking from the 5, you actually, you can have some of it in the 4 if you're working your 4 correctly. But if you're working your 4 incorrectly, then you're actually making it worse, because the 4 likes to skip steps if it's not working in the positive. So in this case, you can already see that the 4 can be really impatient and ambitious. The 5 wants to be really free, and the 1 wants to be creative. So if you add all of these things together, you can actually become a really kind of unstable person, because you're really going all over the place, the world, you're going everywhere. And on the other hand, if you are working these numbers correctly, so if you for the 4 you have that stability, you're not skipping steps, you are actually really process driven. So for example, having a place where you live for you don't need it, but it would be nice to have that stable base. If you have that stable base, that's where you can operate from. Just like we had that like that box with the money just now, that was your freedom, like encapsulated. If you can work your 4 correctly, it actually helps your 5. And the 5 lacks the discipline. But with a step-by-step process, if you master that, you can actually more easily go towards the discipline step. So they go really well together, but they also can be like fire and ice, or fire and fire, because they're exploding on top of each other. And then with the 1, if you're working your creativity positively, then then this whole number is like a slam dunk. This is, if you're working this all correctly, then you'll have an amazing life, and people around you will be very happy with you. You are a really pleasant person to be around. The 4, I think that's it depends on who you ask, obviously, but the 4-1 is a little bit more more playful than the 1-4, because that one is a little bit more serious. But they both have their own benefits, and that's only a slight change. So I'm not exactly sure what the percentages would be, but let's say that the 1 and the 4 are maybe like 5% or 10% out of with a difference, and they will switch around if your numbers are switched around. And that's it. So this whole thing, it applies to both types. But you know which one you are, so you know which one, which side is a little stronger. You might have felt this yourself as well. All right, so on to the next thing within your there's some things you have to take into account. For example, you have the 1 energy. The 1 energy is very helpful, but it also has a couple of things that are not as positive if worked in the incorrect way. So that's a double negative. So it's positive, but the 1 is pretty susceptible for addictions like alcohol or drugs, or I think those are the biggest two, by the way. There's also all kinds of other addictions that you can think of, but these two are mostly there. And for some reason your type can get really addicted to psychedelics. Yeah, I'm not sure if you knew this. So in this case, I'm not saying don't do it or do it. It's really up to you, and that's with all these videos, everything you watch online, with people talking about your life path number, your soul urge number, your human design, your starseed origin, whatever it is. Always check in with yourself and see what resonates. Because if things that I'm saying, you're like, okay, that doesn't resonate, but let's do it anyway, just don't do it. It's up to you. It's your life, and it's your responsibility to go with the things that work for you. All right, so if you have these addictions, what really works also with blocked energy within you, and usually these addictions can come from blocked energy because you are trying to release this energy, because this energy can build up inside of you. And I think what's a really good example is if you had like a really hard work day, and you get home and you really have that urge for a beer or a wine, because there's this energy inside you that you want to release it. So you're looking for that release, and it can also be sexual release, but in this case that's not really where I'm going with. This release can actually be triggered by you doing a meditation, by you doing some kind of exercise or workout. It can be all kinds of things. For you, all the types of sports you can do in the water, they're really good for you. So swimming, diving, water polo, whatever, anything would be really good for you. But the quick fix, and I say fix, but it's not actually a fix, is to have a couple of beers and the energy will go away. And this is also it's really working in your negative. So I'm not saying never drink again, never do drugs again. It's totally up to you. I'm just saying that if you're doing it to get rid of that pent up energy, or excess energy, it's actually a waste, because this energy can also be used towards your manifestations. So instead of I saw another example in my head, but I'm not gonna tell that one just now. But you can either just drink your energy away, and your energy will also be the next day. It will still be a bit depleted because you drank too much, or you had too much whatever you're doing. Or you can do your meditation, or a walk, or something in between. Because I went to a party last night. I had a couple of drinks, and then I switched to tea, and I was still having a lot of fun, because at some point I can always feel like, is it still adding any value right now? I do like the slight buzz you can have, but I don't like it if it goes way beyond that. And if it doesn't add anything anymore, then a cup of tea is really nice as well. That's actually my go-to. So that's something you can really look into, what you're doing with this and how you can improve it. Yeah, let's go to the next thing. So within your health, your lower abdomen, your lower back, and your reproduction area can be really sensitive, or you can have kind of like injuries there or health issues. This all has to do with blocked energy. So if you have any injuries or inconveniences or whatever, I suggest you seek the professional help you need. But what you can also do is see what's blocking your energy. And there's something that you're not working in the positive. If you would be completely in your positive of the 1, the 4, and the 5, these issues would dissipate. So if there's something there, then it's also an indication, and actually kind of like a gift that your body is giving you to take a look at your life and to see what's not yet the way you could be doing it. Okay, let's go to work. The work things. We have not discussed that yet. Yeah, the 5 is incredible, because you are so quick with your mind. Something it's not, well, maybe a couple of years ago I would have envied that, like, whoa, they're so sharp and so quick, and if you have the 1, you're very resourceful as well. And my mind works a little bit different, but I have a really now I have a very clear mind. So I have done a lot of meditation, so that works in my advantage. That works for me as well. And you tend to have a little bit of there's more happening in your head. You can have like this restlessness, and that's not really what I have. But let's see, work. Yeah, so something that offers you stability and adventure. And one of the examples is international trade, for example. But you can do anything that is this creative, because you are really creative, resourceful, and you can come up with a lot of great solutions for any problems, because you do think a little bit more outside of the box than the average person. You are a really good storyteller. You also can be a really good writer, and you're not really the type that sits behind a desk. You can be, but then if you're doing that, you really have to do something that tickles your mind. That's really that all the activity is within your head. Because if you would just be entering numbers, that would not work for you. I don't know which type it would work for, because it's kind of mind-numbing work. But yeah, some might actually like it. But for you, that doesn't work. You really need that freedom, creativity, and even if it's the freedom just in your mind. For example, if you're a writer and you're writing some fictional story, you can still have all the freedom within your storytelling, within your writing. So if you're not sure what you're supposed to do in your life, then just take a look at how you can use your creativity, how can you use your adventurous side, and how to do it from a stable base. And maybe it's even fun to put this this video on pause, or the audio on pause. Check this in ChatGPT. Like, give me 10 professions that are both stable, adventurous, and creative, and let's see what he comes up with. There could be some really nice things in there that might not be exactly what you want, but there might be some nice examples that trigger something, and that you can find out what it is you really want. But the one that is working its numbers correctly, that version of you has already, or that type of person already found the thing they are doing, and they also have found some stability within that, and the other things as well. But they have this bigger goal they're working on, and that's part of how they are working their numbers in the positive. All right, let's carry on a little bit. Yeah, relationships. Yeah, so you like variety, you lack commitment, and this is not true for all of you. But if you're working it in your positive, then you can have a lot of commitment, because once you switch from the freedom type that wants to, for example, sleep with another person every night, and I think this one, this one has that a bit more than the 2-3-5 and the 3-2-5, because this one has the one in there, but the 4 is a little bit more for stability. But the 4 in their younger years, or the underdeveloped 4s, they tend to not want to have any commitment and skip steps and do things. So that doesn't help you in your relationship. But if you are working your 4 correctly, you are really, you do really want to settle down. You really like to have a family and have that stability, or whatever means stability for you, because it could be a family, it could be a community, it could just be you and your partner. It's just what works for you. And your partner could, for example, be a 4, or also working something, a chart with a 4 in there somewhere, and that could be the thing that really tethers you. But you also have to look out that you're not going into, because you're the type who can do everything by themselves, and sometimes they want to do everything by themselves. And if you're going into your that's not necessarily your positive, that's kind of like it's better than the other one, which is you're not doing anything and everything is you're kind of like you're passive. You're passive instead of proactive, and you really are the proactive type. So once you start leaning in your passiveness, then it's kind of like game over for you, because that's not how you work, and you will really not be happy, and you will resent the person that you think that is making you do this, while in fact it's you holding yourself back, and you think it's because of the other person, but the other person is a choice for you, and you can also choose not to be with this person anymore. So if this is where you are, then this is a really interesting time and place for you, because you really have to look at your life and see if this is what you want. And I'm not here to tell everyone to break off their relationships, but I do urge you to look at what you want, and if this is what you want. Because if you're the resentful partner, and right now you're keeping it all in, and in a couple of years you are actually telling them, then you're not doing the other ones any favor either. So maybe in this case, pulling the plug would actually be better for you both, because you're not wasting all that time figuring out or trying something that you know that doesn't work. In Dutch we have a nice saying that's you're like I don't know whoever did this, but it's like pulling a dead horse. So you're you're pulling it with you, and that's when I see that in my mind, it's kind of like that you're trying things that don't work, and they cost you a lot of energy. Um, mm, 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 mm. Yeah, you are a very attractive person. I actually talked about this a little bit more in the five video already, but you are attractive for a lot of people because you are the adventure. You are it for the adventure for other people. You are um, they're doing their thing, and you come along and you're like that whirlwind and that adventure that's grabbing them, and they're living your life for a little bit, and then the tornado calms down, and they get back into their own world again. And it's your type can be really addictive as well for other people that are susceptible to this freedom and energy, and the other types that don't do this as much, and who want to do it, but it's not really in their numbers, and they really need to be enabled by others. And you're that enabler in the most positive sense. Sometimes you can also pull others towards the more like the not the dark side, because it is the fun side, but it's the no consequences side. So that is an interesting one. All right. So all in all, this is a really nice number, and for you, I would really do a couple of things. Let's. So you really have to learn how to do things step by step. This is you can read more about this. Or read, listen or hear, and you can read on the internet as well, obviously. But it's about the process from the four. Once you have the step-by-step process, you can really become unstoppable in anything you want to achieve. The other thing is exercise every day. So only if it's only for a few minutes. It's really important for you to keep that energy flowing, and it's mostly that, well, it's the 1 and the 5 energy, and for the 1 it's exactly the same. So I think this is a little bit more the 1 than the 5. But you have a lot of energy, and see where you are using that energy and where you can channel it towards your creativity, or towards your freedom and discipline, or your step-by-step process to reach any goal you want. And another thing is, find something you can fully commit to. So it could be your work, it could be your family, it could be your relationship, could be some sport you're doing, your workouts, whatever it is. Find something that you can really commit to, so that can become your stable base. Okay, so I have a couple of questions. If you want to hear them again, you can just pause the video. I will just state them once. And after you've written down these questions and answered them, check to see if there's any insights in these answers and if there's anything you can act on. You are a 5, so you're a doer. The 4 is more a thinker, and the 1 is also more a doer. So you're more a doer than a thinker. So for you, work with it, answer the questions, and let's see if there's anything you can put into practice. So, what are the most important steps to create more freedom in my life? Am I willing to take them? Does anyone other than myself really hold me back? How do I use my creative energy? Where do I need to apply more discipline in my life? Okay, so that's those questions. Answer them and see if it what helps you. So now that you've watched this video, well, thank you for watching this far. I really appreciate it, and a thumbs up and a subscription would be amazing. I would really, I would really like that. Really like that. I really love to see this number growing and growing, and it's going pretty steadily, and I like it. But what's up next for you? So for you, I would recommend watch the Life Path number 1 video, Life Path number 4, and Life Path number 5 if you haven't already. And then there's actually 5 other videos you can watch, but I have not yet released them. The others, they have already been released, so you can find them on my channel. But these are the laws, and these are actually exercises, and they're your challenge. So these are the laws. The law of discipline, by the way, I will put it all in the description, in the show notes. So don't worry, you don't have to remember it. I'm just telling you which ones they are, and you can just check it in the description. So the law of discipline. Discipline brings the focus and depth of experiences that lead to inner freedom. Law of choices. We can choose to express our creative energy in positive or negative ways. The law of process. The surest way to reach our goal is to take one small, sure step at a time. The law of cycles. Life is a circle of repeating changes, rising and falling like the seasons. And the last one, the law of the present moment. Impatience and regrets dissolve in the recognition that only now exists. All right, so that's it for your homework. Thank you so much for watching this video or listening to this entire podcast. And I'll see you guys next time. Much love. Bye-bye.